Hello, hello. This is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews, founder and CEO of Aldin Publications. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is Wednesday evening, and I have a special guest with me here, Queashar Halliburton, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce her to some. Her bio is while many neglect to follow their dreams due to setbacks like procrastination, fear, and a lack of resources, she uses those very things as stepping stones to her success. For Queashar L. Halliburton, CEO and founder of Queashar Detroit Publishing LLC, her greatest success to date has come from living outside the box and operating in her God given gifts and purpose. And she encourages others to do the same. In addition to producing her fair share of personal literary works, she works diligently to provide tools, resources, and motivation for new authors nationwide, positioning them to tell their stories in excellence and excel in the marketplace. So let's welcome Queashar Halliburton. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Matthews. I'm so excited to be here today.
Wonderful. So, why don't we start by you telling us about your books and your book chapters that you've written? Tell us a little bit about the works that you have out there that are available.
Sure. Okay, so my first book that I published was Everything They Won't Tell You About Procrastination. And the reason I wrote that book is because for so many years, procrastination was the thing that stopped me from following some goals. I've had a professional career as a licensed insurance agent for the last 20 years.
Wow.
But besides doing the, professional thing, I've always loved to write. I used to write for the school newspaper in high school. In college, I was studying communications, and I always loved to write. I always knew that I was going to write a book, but
Okay.
just didn't know when. But getting caught up in the everyday, routine, I procrastinated when it came to writing or publishing my book. I just kept putting it off, saying that I'll do it later. But then, as the time went on, I was getting older, hair was getting grayer, and I just, got tired of just not following, my goals or just pursuing those dreams that I had deep down
Yeah.
inside. So that
Okay.
was the first book. And the funny way I got the book was when I was doing research for my book, Skyrocket Your Success.
Hmm.
I did a study, a success study. And in the study, I asked, what are the things that are stopping you from, accomplishing your goals or being successful? And 43% of people said that procrastination. And I could
Wow.
so relate with them.
Okay. 43%. That's huge.
Yeah, 43% of people said procrastination was stopping them. And I could relate with that. So, what I did was, in the process of writing my Skyrocket Your Success, because
Hmm.
that procrastination thing was a big, issue, I decided to write everything they wouldn't tell you about procrastination.
All right.
So, that was the second book. And then I have two chapters that are in anthologies.
Hmm.
Um, the first chapter was in Living a Non Negotiable Lifestyle, that was published last June. And basically, my chapter is a non negotiable commitment to excellence on my terms. So I talked about how you have to make it your business to
Hmm.
be excellent in everything that you do. And I just gave 7 tips to level up in excellence.
I love that.
Thank you. And then my final book is Unstoppable Gems, Women Just Like You, Sharing What We Live and Do. And my chapter is entitled Flying Fearless. In that chapter, I talked about how I was letting fear, and fear was another issue that people had. I think it was like 34% in my study.
Okay.
Fear was something that stopped people from following their goals and dreams. And so when I write to motivate
I love
mainly
that.
women, but women and men. But I kind of focus on women because I was that professional woman that was, like stuck in corporate America and just kept procrastinating and letting fear stop me from, leveling up in life.
All right. So I
Mhm.
don't want to miss what you just said. I want everyone to understand what she just said. She was working on her first book and she did a survey. And from that survey, she got information that really caused you to kind of dovetail and produce this book on procrastination first. Is that right?
Yes,
All right. So
correct.
how would you let other writers or other authors know that if you are finding yourself in a position where, hey, there's some additional information that might be beneficial, whether it's published as an ebook or however share it. When did you realize, okay, this is something I should do separately from the success book?
Well, there were a couple of reasons. One reason, the first reason was that again, 43% of people were having those issues, and I was saying, it's not only me, it's other people. So it was something that it seemed like something that was urgent to get that out there because I was just thinking that this would help. It would help me because I want because of the Skyrocket Your Success book was taking longer than I wanted to publish it because I was doing research and I
Yep.
was saying while I'm doing this, let me kind of pull out this this issue that people are having and try to help them resolve their issue with procrastination.
Good, good. So, another point right there for anyone who's writing a nonfiction book, it's important to recognize that nonfiction books solve a problem. You are providing a solution to a specific group of people. So, she realized, hey, I've got some information that could help some people, and I'm going to go ahead and put this information out. And that's how we got this book on procrastination. So, I dropped it in the comments, the link for her book, Everything They Won't Tell You About Procrastination. So, the Amazon link is in the comments for anyone who wants to purchase a copy of that book and get a copy of it for yourself. I'm happy to say that I've read the book, and in the book, you talk about being a master procrastinator. So tell us a little bit about your journey through and to the other side of procrastination.
Wow. So I'll say I was a master procrastinator because I just kept delaying
Hmm.
certain things that I wanted to do in life. I just kept coming up with reasons and I kind of talked myself out of it. And it's kind of like self sabotaging behavior. When you have something deep down inside of you, a goal or a dream that you want to accomplish, but you keep having that imposter syndrome. They keep saying, you can't do that. You're not good enough. And the
Mm.
weird thing is that I've been a writer for a long time, but then I stopped writing. And when I
Okay.
stopped writing, I lost confidence. And so I lost confidence. And that's a reason. That's one of the reasons I started procrastinating. Because sometimes when we are procrastinating, we're procrastinating because of fear of failure, fear of not fear of well, not fear of failure, yeah, fear of failure, and then perfectionism,
Okay.
letting because something is not perfect in your mind, or when you think about something, or when you start to write, if it doesn't look perfect to you, then you start kind of like, I'm not ready
Second
for
guessing.
this.
Yep. I'm very familiar with perfectionism.
Yes, and it just makes you, delay and
Okay.
procrastinate.
Now, what do you think are some common traps for other writers or other authors to avoid? Because I know you've gone through, writing both the books and the book chapters. What do you think are some common traps that writers or authors should avoid, particularly if they're struggling with, procrastinating?
Some of the traps, one, trying to be perfect. I think that you should just get started. In the beginning of your writing process, it's not going to be perfect, so just get started writing. And then just writing every now and again. I think you should set a consistent writing schedule when you are trying to accomplish a goal of writing a book.
Hmm.
Because when you're just saying like it's a fad, it's something like people, oh, I'm writing a book, that is just a goal. But for if you don't start writing the book and actually publish the book, you'll be writing a book forever. So one of the traps that I think people get caught up in is just saying that they're writing a book, and every now and then you may write a little bit, but you need to set a deadline.
Okay.
You get caught up in just saying you're going to do something. You need to actually start taking steps, little by little, so that you can accomplish that goal.
All right. So get started writing and set a deadline so that you have some type of parameter so you'll know, are you on track for your goal? And you actually have something to help to monitor and hold you accountable. That's good. All right. So out of all the things you've written, we've got two books and two book chapters. Which one is your favorite?
My favorite book. Now that's hard. My favorite book is Skyrocket Your Success
Okay.
because I talk about everything in that book. I talk about fear. I talk about procrastination. I talk about living for others' approval. I talk about a lot of stumbling blocks when it comes to achieving your goals in life. And it's my favorite because it includes everything, that I talk about. And so what I do is sometimes pull out from that one book, pull out different things. So like in my book with Unstoppable Gems, I talk about fear. everything
Mhm.
they won't tell you about procrastination. I talk about procrastination. And then living a non-negotiable lifestyle, I talk about achieving everything that you do it in excellence. So I would say Skyrocket Your Success is my favorite book because it covers, just about everything that I talk about in my books.
All right. Now, you have been featured on podcasts and numerous interviews, both in person and virtually. What do you think has been the best way for you to market your books?
I think the best way for me to market my book is doing podcasts or doing lives, and then actually talking to people about the issues that they have, similar to what I write about. I
Hmm.
think in person, conversations with people, in
Okay.
person conversations, and then podcasts have been also important as well.
Good. Now, I know that when you and I first met, we met actually through social media, and you
Yes.
do a lot of live streams, particularly on your Instagram channel. So, you do live streams a lot, but I know that for many authors, that's difficult. They're scared. Again, going back to that fear, they're scared to go live. They don't know what to talk about. And again, you do a very good job of just breaking down your chapters and sharing little nuggets from your stories and things that you've written. So, what helped you to kind of overcome that fear of going live and just getting yourself out there?
Just doing it scared. Um, every now and then, I've been doing. I think I have maybe over 100 videos since I've
Wow.
been going live on Instagram. I just love doing videos because if you do like, well, I like going live too, but if you do videos, if you make an error, you can go back and correct it. It's
Hmm.
not as permanent as if you go live, but I I think that you should just
Okay.
practice by doing your own videos, and then kind of critique it. Because what I do is I'll go back, I'll do videos and I'll go back and I'll say, what do I need to improve? So just doing
Hmm.
it, just actually recording videos, going live, just do it because the more you do it, the more you'll become a professional in going live.
Okay. So moving from where you called yourself a master procrastinator to actually going through the process of overcoming being a procrastinator, what was that like for you? What was that discovery process? How did you get to the point where you said, okay, enough is enough? And then you made some steps forward. What was that like?
Wow. So being a master procrastinator, I was getting tired, I was getting tired of myself because I'm a person of excellence. Even if you could be a person of excellence, but still you have these weaknesses
Hmm.
that you just don't like, and I just got tired of not achieving the goals and I started feeling empty, you
Hmm.
know. Even though I had a 9 to 5, career being an insurance agent for these for 2 decades, I still had the goal to become an author and to do conferences, and that's something that I'm going to be doing, in the near future. And just get outside of that box that I was held in. I just felt like I had to push myself, past just that urgency to not move forward. I
Okay.
just got tired of myself. I
All
got
right.
tired of not accomplishing the goals and tired of saying what I want to do and not
Mhm.
doing it. And I'm a person of action. Even though I was having that struggle for many years, I had to, just push myself forward because I got tired of being in professional mediocrity.
Yes, yes. So that professional mediocrity, that was one of my favorite phrases from the book when I was reading it. And I actually highlighted that. I have the ebook and I highlighted that. So tell us what professional mediocrity means. And, you know, it stood out for me, but what does it really mean for you? And why was that important to include in your book on procrastination?
It was important to include because sometimes we get caught up in our 9 to 5 jobs and
Hmm.
we're doing good on our 9 to 5 jobs, but you know that you're called to do something much more. You're called to a higher standard or a higher level, but you stay there in that average space where you know you can do much more. So professional mediocrity is doing what you do professionally, but you know you need to level up, but you're staying there. You need to go to that next level. So it's
Yeah.
it's staying in that space where you're just average. And people may say that, okay, you're doing good on your job, you're not average. But if you have goals deep down inside that you want to accomplish and you're not growing,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a professional mediocrity.
All right. Now, in your book on procrastination, you talk about 9 ways to reverse the curse. Without giving everything away, give us your summary so that anyone who's watching, who's an aspiring author or who's just getting started writing, they have some nuggets that will help them to get over the hump.
Okay, so the first thing that I did was, now I'm a woman of faith. I'm a Christian woman. So the first thing I did was pray. I had to pray and ask God to help me to level up, because I got tired. Like I said, I got tired, and of just being average. And I said I had, things that I had to do. So first thing is to pray. Ask God to put people in your path to help you, because you can't do it alone.
That's
Just like
right.
we can't, just like you were put in my path. We were friends on Instagram, and we connected. And ever since we've connected, you've added so much to my life professionally. And I thank you for that. So just have to pray and ask God to remove those, distractions and stumbling blocks that stop you from moving forward. That's one thing. Another thing is to state what you want to do. Put it in writing. Put in writing what you want to do, and create a plan of action, and start taking those steps, with that plan of action.
All right.
And when you start accomplishing those and when you start accomplishing those goals, celebrate. When
Good.
you celebrate, you are solidifying that you've accomplished the goal, and it'll give you encouragement to go forward and do.
All right. So we froze for just a second. I don't know if it froze on your end or not, but we're going to keep right on going. So why don't you tell us, do you think that there are different types of procrastinators? And what might those types of procrastinators be? Can you
Dr.
still
Matthew?
can you still hear
Oh,
me?
I can hear you now. It went out for a second.
Ah, okay. All right. So the question was, tell us about, or do you think there are different type of procrastinators? And if so, what are the different types of procrastinators?
Okay, so there are doing my research, there are four types of procrastinators. There is anxious procrastination. It's the what if syndrome. It causes stress and anxiety. It is the fun procrastination, where it causes adrenaline and drive and causes you to work well under pressure. It is the plenty of time procrastination.
Mhm.
I can always do it later, like the tortoise and hare. You can, it's time driven. You can wait and just do it later. And then number four, perfectionist procrastination, and that deals with a fear of failure.
All right. That's really good information. Now, of those four, which one, did you lean a little bit more towards?
Number four, no, you know
Okay.
what? Between three and four, but number four was I would say would be in the priority state. Perfectionist procrastination, and then plenty of time. Oh, I could do it
Gotcha.
later.
Yeah. So I kind of lean towards the perfectionist as well. And for those who, watch me or know follow me and know a little bit about me, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So that perfectionist procrastinator really speaks to me. So for those of you who are watching and you heard those four types of procrastinators, just jot down in the comments which one you think that you might be, or that you tend to lean a little bit more towards. So we have the anxious procrastinator, the fun procrastinator, the plenty of time procrastinator, and the perfectionist procrastinator. So if you're watching this, whether you're watching live or with the replay, go ahead and drop in the comments which one you think you are of those four types of procrastinators. All right. So are there any other tips that you want to share from your book on procrastination? Any tips you want to share for writers who might have been stuck and they have a desire to move forward and they just haven't done it? Any words of wisdom for them?
I would ask them to identify why they're procrastinating. Be honest with yourself, identify why you're procrastinating, and then once you identify why you're procrastinating, I think that it will help you kind of solve that issue. If it's fear that your writing is not good enough, put that down. And why do you feel that way? Kind of address those issues. Is it because you don't know the steps to write your book. Whatever it is, write down what your problem is, and then think of, what is a solution to that? Because sometimes we
Mhm.
have these problems and we just don't want to deal with it because we're so overwhelmed. But I think that if you specifically name what your problem is, it'll kind of help you tune in on solving that problem so that you can, move that out of the way, so that you can move that distraction out of the way so that you can go ahead and start writing. Um, be focused on what you want to do as far as writing. Why are you writing it? I think you should know exactly what your goal is in writing. What is the purpose? If you know your why will give you the motivation to complete that project.
Good. Good. I love that. So know your why, know your goal, why you're actually writing the book. So what is typically the most difficult part of the writing process for you? You've accomplished, a couple books, a couple book chapters. What is typically the most difficult part for you in the writing process?
The most difficult part for me in the writing process is cutting it off.
Mm,
Like, with the skyrocket your success. So the idea of success, it's such a wide range topic. I had to let myself be okay with, okay, cutting it off here. I'm like, you can
okay.
always do a sequel, a follow up,
Yes.
another edition. I had a, challenge saying, okay, this is getting, a little bit too much of a big of a project.
Okay. Okay.
So I had to kind of, cut off, like, okay, this is where I need to cut this off here, and I can always pick it up and do a second edition.
Sounds good. Now, my last and final question
Mhm.
is if you could tell your younger self something as a writer, what would it be?
I would tell myself to keep going because, like I say, that I've always loved to write. And I, like in high school, I was writing for the school newspaper, college, writing. And then when I got into, corporate America, I stopped writing. I would tell
Mhm.
myself to keep writing. Don't be afraid. Just keep going, because I was fearful because I'm like, is this good enough? Is this going to be up to par? I would tell myself to keep going, don't stop, and just, I would encourage myself to just keep going, keep writing, never stop.
Good. Good. I love that. So, if there's anything that you want to share with our audience, go right ahead. Tell them whatever it is that you want to share with them, whether it's about procrastinating, whether it's about being a writer or author. What are some words that you want to share with our audience?
I would just say, if you feel like you want to write a book, um, but you have all these distractions and things that kind of stop you, I would say get focused on writing your book and just do it. I think we all have had times in our writing careers that we feel like, maybe this is not good enough, or will this help somebody? Will this be purposeful? I
Hmm.
would say go ahead and write, because you have that urge to write. I would say go ahead and complete that project. And if you need help, seek help. I would say
Yes.
network with other authors at all stages, beginning
Yes.
writers, people that have been, writing for decades, and build relationships with them, because those are going to be your allies in this writing
Definitely.
journey.
Definitely. And that is so important because you learn from everyone. And just like you said, whether it's someone who's just starting their journey or a veteran who's been doing it for 20 plus years, you can learn from everybody in the process because everyone has something to contribute. And you're absolutely right. That network, building that network in your writers community and connecting with other people, again, whether it's in person, virtually, on social media, you want to develop that network because again, like you said, those become your allies, and that's so true. So where can people connect with you? Where can people find out more about your works and what you're working on next? So where can people find out more about Queashar?
You can find out more about me. My favorite social media channel is IG, Instagram. You can follow me at Q like Queashar, D like Detroit Publishing, and just follow me on Instagram. I'll follow you back, and you can also follow me on Twitter at QD Publishing.
I love it. I'm typing this in the comments so that anyone who's watching, whether it's live or the replay, can follow you. I've just got the Instagram down. You can go ahead and add your other social media. That way, anyone who wants to connect with you can. I
Okay.
love this. I love this. So I mentioned it very briefly. Are you working on another project? What's next that we can expect from Queashar?
Yes, I'm working on another project. I'll be announcing it next month.
Woo!
So look out for me. I'll be making a big announcement next month, and I'm excited. This writing journey is something else. I've been, like I said, I've always wanted to write a book, but I
Mhm.
delayed it for so many years. And once I, the key to just tapping into that key, writing that first book, and after you write that first book, don't stop, keep going on and on, because because somebody is waiting for you. Somebody's waiting for
Yes,
that book. Something
that's
in that
right.
book is going to change someone's life.
That's right. You
So
have that solution. And
yes,
that's the wonderful thing about being an author. You really are impacting lives. You have a
yes,
solution to someone's problem and they need that. So again, we want to kick procrastination to the curb. We want to be able to get
absolutely.
through our projects, connect with great writers and others in the writing community. That's excellent. So thank you so much for being our guest, Shar. I know you said you've got a big announcement coming up. Any, no spoilers, but any sneak peeks as to the topic or anything like that? We know you've covered fear, procrastination, success. Are you going to do something along the same lines or is it going to be different?
I'm doing something a little different because the books that we've talked about are nonfiction books. I'm going to, kind of present a fiction book coming up shortly. So,
Exciting.
mhm.
Wonderful. Well, everybody, make sure that you follow Quishar. Make sure you don't miss her big announcement next month so we can see what's coming up next for her. I'm so excited to see where she's going next and figure out what her topic is and what's next for Quishar. So thank you again for being our guest this evening. Make sure that you drop the rest of your social media in the comments so that we can connect with you, follow you on social media, and learn more about your journey. So hopefully, if anyone has questions, I don't see any questions right now. So if anyone has any questions after we're done with the live stream, make sure you drop the questions in the comments. I'm sure Shar will go in and answer your questions that you have about procrastination, about the writing process, or anything else that can help you on your author journey. So final thoughts?
Thank you so much, Dr. Matthews, for having me today. And just keep writing.
Excellent. It's my pleasure. Thank you again for being our guest. I
Thank
hope
you.
everyone has learned something. Please go ahead, follow Shar, find out more about her writing journey, and continue to tell her what a blessing she's been to our audience in talking about procrastination tonight. So thank you all for joining us. Share this broadcast with somebody that you know is interested in writing, that you know wants to be an author, or has a wonderful story that needs to be told. Thanks so much, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.